Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. This is the Aftermath Live, and it's been the first time in a long time I'm having to do one of these ones where I'm feeling a little bit deflated. I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling a little bit deflated, but we're gonna use this Aftermath Live today, the show where we discuss all the things after a Manchester United game. Once the dust has settled, we give you my player ratings, we get your player ratings, we discuss the game as we saw it. But I am going to use this video today to try and get myself feeling a little bit more confident and happier about the situation again, because I don't like the way I'm feeling at the moment. I feel like we lost and we didn't. I feel like we've missed out on a massive opportunity, and whilst we did, it's not over, do you know what I mean? And we've still managed to get ourselves into a great position for the final 3 games. I'll also be saying why I think this draw that feels like a defeat could act as a blessing in disguise for us going forward into next season. But that's only if we manage to get the points to get us into the Champions League. So we'll be discussing that today. Apologies, we're a little bit later than usual. I've been feeling absolutely smashed. I didn't even drink yesterday. I feel hungover this morning. So apologies for that. But we're here now and we're talking all things Man United. And you just look at the cold, hard stats. 52% possession for Southampton. They edged it. Now obviously the last remainder of the game we were playing with 10 men. They took control of possession. And without having Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba on the pitch, who, to be fair, had a pretty bad game by their standards. They weren't good enough yesterday for us. They weren't as good as we are used to seeing them in recent weeks and since the lockdown. But they went off and we lost control of the ball. Southampton regained possession. And the goal, we defended well up until the goal, but you could just feel it coming. You had that sickly feeling. And yeah, Southampton got it. And I was saying, I predicted we'd win, but I always felt there was a possible shock on the cards here with Southampton, because under Hassan, who especially since they got dicked 9-0, they've been absolutely fantastic. And since the break, they suffered defeat against Arsenal at home. But besides that, they've been pretty good. A point against United, point against Everton. They've beaten, I think they beat Tottenham. They've beaten, who did they beat? Manchester City. So they've had some good results in the last couple of weeks. So this isn't that much of a shock, but when you saw the form United were in, you did expect more from Manchester United yesterday, and you expected a little bit more of a performance. And every time Chelsea have lost before we've played in the same game week, we've failed to capitalise. Now obviously we have capitalised in instances because we've managed to close the gap an awful lot. There was times where we was about 11 points away from Leicester City, 16 points away from Leicester City, and we've managed to close the gap down to a matter of points now. So I suppose you look at that and you think, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It could be a lot worse, but it's that feeling of a missed opportunity that really hits you in the gut. And now, United sit level on 59 points with Leicester City, 4 points ahead of 6th place Wolves. We're still in 5th. Our goal difference is 3 worse off than Leicester City's, but obviously if we win all of our games, we finish in the top 4 because one of those games is against Leicester City. Leicester City also have to play Tottenham and Sheffield United before they play us. So you'd look at that and think, if they win those 3 games, they probably deserve Champions League football. And Chelsea, they play Norwich tonight. But after that, and after the semi-final against United, they have got Liverpool away and Wolves at home. So they too have some tricky games coming up for them in terms of, like, you know, the fixtures coming up. So United's fixtures are still the more favourable. They're still the more favourable. But we didn't expect Bournemouth to beat Leicester 4-1. We didn't expect United to draw yesterday 2-2, especially from 2-1 up at half time. And that has happened. So you can't count your chickens before they hatch, or whatever the saying is. I think I've got that one right. Jamie Johnson says, any injury update on Luke Shaw and Williams? First off, thank you very much for your super chat. In terms of Brandon Williams, he was taken off, obviously, for a cut to his eye, I believe it was, or it was in this area of his face anyway, and head. And Luke Shaw looked to have turned his ankle now. Obviously, we're going to have to see what Luke Shaw's ankle's feeling like this morning. And it's so gutting for him because he was having a very good game. He should have had an assist if Marcus Rashford holds his run in the first half. It would have been a fantastic assist as well. And he was involved in other moves ahead of that. And it was him bursting into the box that made him lose his footing and made him turn over his ankle. As for Brandon Williams, he got a gash to his head following an aerial collision with Kyle Walker-Peters. That's how it's been described by Manchester United's website. And this is what Ollie said after. Luke twisted his ankle. Hopefully we can have some good news on him after we've done a scan. And then in a separate interview with MUTV, Ollie added, on Brandon Williams, I can't say I've not seen Brandon because he was with the medical staff and I think he was getting some stitches with a gash over his eye. So let's see how he is. Now obviously, if he's concussed, then he's not going to be able to play for, I think it's 7 to 14 days, which pretty much ends his domestic campaign. And it would be a massive blow for Manchester United if we too haven't got Luke Shaw. You've got Tedam Mengi coming through. You've got Diogo Dalot who can also play there. So you do have a couple of options in that position, but it's still not ideal to be going into that with your first choice left backs both out. And we need to get at least one of them back, I'd hope. I hope Luke Shaw's ankle injury is not as bad as feared. I didn't see if it was the one that he had injured before, so I didn't see that. Whether it was his, the one where he suffered that massive injury, but hopefully he's back. And it's just he's jarred it. We've all done those things. If you play football, when you're running, sometimes, if there's a little ditch in the grass or whatever, it's just like proper jarred his ankle and landed on it awkwardly. Now that one can be a sore one for months and weeks. It could be some real damage, or alternatively, it could just be a little bit of pain, but he'll get over it. Hopefully it's the latter. Solskjaer admitted his frustration. Now, I found this hilarious yesterday. I was on Twitter yesterday after the game, and I seen some people moaning that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hadn't replaced Brandon Williams. Like, you lot really think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sat there and forgot that he had a spare substitute when we were down to 10 men? He's fucking idiots or something. And it's all on you for not knowing the rules since we came back. You're only allowed to make substitutions in 3 intervals, 3 stoppages in play. So that could be 2-2-1, 2-1-2, 1-1-3. You can make your substitutes like that. Or alternatively, you get 4 intervals if you use the half-time break. Obviously, not many people use half-time to make substitutions, but you can use half-time and that doesn't count towards the stoppages in play. But you're only allowed to stop play 3 times for substitutions, and United had already used their substitutions. Now you could criticise, Ollie for maybe wasting substitutions in terms of taking off Pogba on his own, taking off Bruno on his own, and maybe they could have been coupled up elsewhere. But Luke Shaw's was an injury, and Brandon Williams was an injury. It's not like you can foresee those things happening. Obviously injuries happen in football, but you know what I mean? He didn't know that both those players were going to get injured as soon as Brandon Williams. So I find that a little bit odd. People just rushing out, hoping to find something to moan about. Really, really daft. We've got ourselves into a great position. It was a sucker punch yesterday. Absolute sucker punch. I was gutted too. And I think I said after the game, if we don't get Champions League football from here, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. And these are facts. Because ultimately, we have the squad, we have the players, we have the fixtures to be able to get this job done. The only thing is, there's a lot of fatigue there, and you could see it, especially once we went down to 10 men, you could see the fatigue in the side. So maybe, not changing up has affected us a little bit. And that's why I think this game could be a blessing in disguise. Because listen to me, hear me out. Yesterday, Bruno and Pogba go off. We lack everything in those positions. Some people were saying we don't need Jadon Sancho. Like, really? Daniel James, fantastic squad player, but he's very one-dimensional. He couldn't hold the ball up for us yesterday. We need someone else that can do that. In terms of, Bruno and Pogba, let's say they're substituted or they're injured. Bringing on someone like Jack Grealish or I don't know, Kai Havertz, Jack Grealish, Donny van der Beek. Any of these players, more quality in those areas, means you're going to be able to see more games out. You're going to be able to win more games because you can't get by on the 11 players on the pitch. And it shows that, yes, Ollie has taken us massive strides forward so far this season. But also, we need to ensure, and Anthony Martial was talking about this earlier in the week, saying that, you know, we're expecting new players to come in and have to fight for our spots, and we want to be looking to win the title. And if we want to be looking to win the title, we have to invest and get more quality in depth. Because ultimately, you're not going to get by on just those 11 players. And we've got depth in other positions, okay? Brandon Williams can come in at left back, even maybe centre half. You know, Bailly can come in. I still think we need cover there, and I'll tell you why later. Right back, you've got a few right backs, Laird, Delo. These people can play there too. In goal, we've got fucking loads of goalies, so much so that we've got England's number 1 out on loan. You know, in midfield, no cover for Matic, no cover for Bruno, no cover for Pogba. Now, I think you can get away possibly without having one of those in a game. You know, Fred in for Pogba, McTominay in for Matic. But changing all those up at once, we haven't got the quality and depth to do that. And that is showing you we need to invest. We need the likes of Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho coming into this team. And I'm hoping that's a kick up the arse and a pointer to say, look, we can't get by just on this 11. We have to improve our team, have to improve the team in the summer if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to continue taking us forward, of which so far he has done fantastically well. And we are now in a position where 18 games unbeaten, we're still unbeaten as much as it felt like a defeat. 18 games unbeaten, going into 2 cup competitions. Domestic Cup, obviously Chelsea at the weekend, massive semi-final there. Can we book a final spot for the end of the domestic campaign? And then we got, you know, league games around that. Beat fucking, who's next? Palace, West Ham. And we'll be, I think, get 6 points out of 9 minimum. I think we'll get top 4. So we have to challenge the boys. We have to bounce back. That's one thing that is always said about United. You can have a bad day. You can have a bad result. How do you bounce back? You can't let this affect your confidence in yourself, in your team, in your teammates. You can't let this affect the good things that we have done. And yesterday, look, you know, we see a massive mistake by Paul Pogba for their goal. I also think David De Gea was partly to blame for that. And people are going to say, oh, Adam, you're defending Pogba. I'm not. Look, I don't need to defend Pogba for that. Like, sometimes we wanna protect our best players, you know, the Brunos and the Pogbas and all these guys, and say, you know, it wasn't a mistake, or it was a mistake, but you know. But actually, bruv, Paul Pogba will be sitting at home today, fucking fuming with himself. That was a fucking mistake. Do you know what I mean? He's better than that. He knows that. So why do we need to protect him? Do you get me? So that was a massive mistake by Paul Pogba, and he has to do better there. He's normally better in terms of back players, knowing where they are, strength, holding them off, little bit of skill, little bit of trickery, get out the space. Got caught. They score 1-0. Perfect start for them. They're full of confidence. But I felt David De Gea should have seen that. He could see the play behind Paul Pogba. He could see the player was coming in. But if you've got confidence in a player like Paul Pogba, then you're probably, you know, you're still going to pass it to him. So it's both of their faults. But I think the big mistake came from Paul Pogba. He could have even sent it back the way it came from. Do you know what I mean? And David De Gea just hoofs it up the field. He didn't. United conceded. Big mistake. We'll move on from that. But first of all, we've got 2 super chats in. Favor and Delama says, we need Sancho Greenwood. It would be a great super sub. Beats Box Dre Beats says, get Mourinho back. Ollie is clueless. Not what the hell. First off, thank you for the super chat. But get Mourinho back? No, thank you. No, thank you. I do not want him back. So, look. Don't get gassed by one performance by him, by the way. You know, they won the North, they beat Arsenal. Whoop-de-doo. Anyway, back to United. Like I said, that mistake by Pogba cost us. But we managed to get back into the game. Marcus Rashford, great pass by Luke Shaw to find him. He's got to hold his line, man. You've got to hold your line. Please hold your line. You can see right across the line. You've got acres of space in front of you. And you know if the ball's right, you're onside, you're in, it's a goal. You're not onside. That's your fault. Then obviously, his goal comes. Fantastic goal. The pass into Anthony Martial. Strength with his back to goal. Keeps off his fullback. He controls the ball. Releases it from his feet. Defenders on his arse. Marcus Rashford's in. And it's a fantastic finish from him to take it to 21 goals. Couple of minutes later, Bruno feeds Martial, who's on the left flank now. Rashford's gone into the middle. Cuts inside, typical Anthony Martial fashion. Smashes the ball in, and you're thinking, bro, 21 apiece for these lot now. 2-1 up, 25 minutes in. We've recovered. We're going again. Let's wrap this game up. And we had the chances to wrap the game up. At 3-1, you know, they're going to be demoralised. They're going to need a few more goals to get back into the mix. But we just couldn't get that third goal. You think of the move between Rashford and Martial, where the defenders come across and cleared it. You know, Rashford should have scored that. Again, he'll be sitting there thinking, fuck, I should have had 2-3 goals yesterday. As were Anthony Martial, because it was a point as well. He could have got his second assist in the first half, and he slipped it. Instead of slipping in Rashford, who was clean in, he's opted to shoot and blaze it over. Now I know you got the 9 on your back, you're feeling confident, you're gonna probably have a pop from there, you've just scored, but at the same time, 2-1 up, the game's still in doubt. You got Rashford free to the left of you. Slip him in, bro. Get him his second goal. Get 3-1 up. Then you can start shooting from wherever you like. Do you know what I mean? So there were little frustrating moments in the game that cost us ultimately. And you look at the defence as well. I think Harry Maguire and Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, they've all improved our defence. I don't think you can deny that. But I don't think you can deny that. But also, they're not elite yet. Do you know what I mean? They're not where we need to be if we want to challenge for the league title. Harry Maguire, £80 million, doesn't look that way at the moment. We bought him for an elite defender price. At this moment, he's not an elite defender. Does he have the ability to? Yes. Is he at the moment? No. Should he have got the armband? I think as a captain, as a leader, as a personality, maybe. But giving him the armband when he hasn't yet said, no one can take me out of this team, I am the fucking man, is a little bit of a mazza. It really is. But that's not me saying he's shit, he's finished, he's done. Because like I said, Maguire and Lindelof, they both have improved our defence. But they need to now push themselves on another level. Because they've got us to this level where we're now hoping to get back into the Champions League. Europa League spots we're in. Maybe get into the Champions League spots. But to push on and get that trophy that we want, to get the Champions League that we want, we need them to push on as well. Now, in Maguire's favour, it's his first season at Man United, his first season as captain. He's never played for a club like us. Even playing for England, it doesn't come into, I don't think it comes close to playing for Man United, the pressures that you face on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. And he's getting used to all of that. But he needs to, really start improving as well. Really start improving. So there's no doubts about his position in the team. We've got another super chat from Unknown Driller who says, Adam, that unbeaten run means nothing because we bottled it when it mattered. Prob still get fourth. Second half reminds me of Jose's day, sitting back on a lead. It was frustrating. I think the substitutions were wrong. I think Ollie got it wrong on the day, especially in that second half. But you have to look at how we got there. And ultimately, these lads have been playing very good football recently. And I think, you can kind of take that setback. Now, if we don't react against Palace and West Ham, right to be concerned, right to say they bottled it, go for it. But at this moment in time, we've still closed the gap. The teams around us lost. We've continued to close the gap. We're now level with fourth. We were nowhere near those spots before when we returned from lockdown. And now we've got it in our own hands. So whilst that disappointment of drawing with Southampton is there, when you weigh it up, we've got ourselves into a good position. So I am massively disappointed. But I am also quite sure that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have gone into the dressing room, bollocked everybody, demanding a reaction in training today, demanding a reaction from the team. I truly believe we'll be seeing that from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And yeah, I obviously wait to be proven right or wrong. We've got a big game on Thursday against West Ham. The preview for that is coming up for you in the next couple, either going to be tonight or tomorrow morning. So make sure you're keeping it locked for that. But yeah, man, we're going to go to player rating soon. But I'm just trying to shake some of this disappointment off. Get it off your chest. And just talk about what happened yesterday. And then look, we didn't lose. Do you know what I mean? We're on a very good run. If we win against Palace, I think it all pretty much is forgotten. So let's keep going. But someone mentioned as well, Shane, talk about Lindelof on the corner. First off, let's talk about the captain on the corner. Who is he marking, bruv? Why are you pushing Aaron Wan-Bissaka out of the way? Why? Are you watching the ball and not what? Like, I don't get it. What are you doing? Why are you marking your own man? We've got 10 men, and now you've taken 2 of you out of the game. So we're defending with 8 men. One of them's a goalie. We got 7 men. Lindelof was basically behind the line, but I still think that comes from Matic not getting with a late jump. Maguire defending Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka don't get up for a header. Maguire don't really get up for a header. And then you got Lindelof who's marking his man. I feel Lindelof has to get across him. So go ball side of him. Get across your defender. But he's obviously, you got to remember, he's goal side of him. Yeah. He's got him here. Now the ball's coming in. He's dropped back with him. So as he's dropped back with him, he's still in a position to challenge. The ball should never have got there. I understand if the ball comes all the way over to Lindelof and Obafemi, I think it was, who scored. I understand that. There's more there's still criticism. He probably could have still cleared his lines. But the ball should never be getting to fucking Lindelof in the first place. Never. Never. Rebecca, thank you for the super chat. She says we can bounce back and we will bounce back. The best teams don't always win every game of the season. A draw can happen, says Manny. Have to beat Palace and West Ham and see what happens against Leicester, says Jamie. Most definitely, mate. Most defo. I hate how disruptive the water breaks are, says Gareth. We had Southampton on the rope with 2 quick goals. Then the break completely stalled our momentum, allowed them to reset. Second half was awful though. Fair enough. Michael Kennedy says it will be alright in the end. We will get 3rd or 4th. Thank you for the super chat, Michael. We need an aggressive player in midfield, says Steve Durand. Fosu, Mensah. As much as I would love him to come through and prove us that he is the man, I don't have that confidence that I used to have anymore. 7 points from the last 3 is sound. Any less is 5th, says Jamie. I feel the same as well. Win the next 2 games and I think we'll probably have top 4 sewn up, to be honest, going into that Leicester game. But yeah, 7 points and I think we'll get it. We need to keep going though. Melissa's just commenting Bruno and it will be fine. Possession before Pogba came off, 55.3%. After Pogba went off, 36.8%. After Bruno came off, 16.2%. We lost so much control with Pogba coming off. And then Fernandes. We need depth, as Chris Green. And I think that, that's what I alluded to at the start of the show. When talking about a blessing in disguise, we're talking about if we can still get Champions League football, the blessing is that we've seen we don't have the quality in depth. And hopefully it means we go all out and get Grealish and Sancho. But again, Champions League football is important to doing that. Yes, Shane, aka the United man, how you doing, bro? He goes, problem is some things you just cannot teach. You either see these things or you don't. It's unfortunate, but I feel we need a world-class centre-back. And that's a fair point too. VAR is crap, says Man United Caribbean. Do we feel Romeo should have been sent off yesterday? I think a lot of us do. But what I like is we've not made much, of it. We've not, oh, fucking hell, should have been sent off if he gets sent off. Like, we've not made that an excuse for losing, you know what I mean, or dropping points, which I quite like as well. Shows you that we're getting back in the right direction. Right. Let's go to these player ratings. I don't know what I've done here, so let's have a look now. Okay. Maybe been polite to some people, but we'll go anyway. David De Gea a 6, Wan-Bissaka a 6, Maguire and Lindelof a 5, Shaw a 7. I thought Shaw was very good for United before he went off. Matic and Pogba a 5. Don't think they were good enough at all. Rashford a 7, Bruno a 6, Greenwood a 6, Martial an 8. A goal and an assist for Martial. I think he was our man of the match yesterday. He got Sky Sports his man of the match as well. And he's really settling into that number 9 role. He's becoming the more complete striker. He's doing more things that you'd expect of a number 9. Doing the dirty things that you'd expect of a number 9. And he's scoring goals. He's done really well so far this season. Long may it continue. 21 goals apiece now for him and Rashford. Let's hope they can get to 25 each. Bafla Son thinks I've been too kind to Wan-Bissaka and he should have a 5, while Yorkshire Golfer thinks Matic should have a 6. Matic a 6, says Kazim as well. Simon, thank you very much for joining us on AdamMcKola TV. I appreciate the support. Thank you to everyone that has joined us. We're still over 100, dropped under the 110, probably on about 105 now. We did have the target of 200 by the end of August, so if you can join us, hit that join button. But thank you for your members and your super chats today. Yeah, so those are my player ratings. Fred Williams, James, McTominay. I think James it was frustrating when he came on. It's not the game for him though. We needed someone to hold the ball. Didn't really get to see too much of Fred and McTominay. And Williams obviously suffered a massive head injury. And he looked tenacious and ready to go when he came on. The Bosco has also joined AdamMcKola TV. Thank you very much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. Going from the centre halves, which we've spoken about an awful lot, through to Luke Shaw, who I thought was our best of the defenders yesterday. Matic, I don't think he played well enough. Pogba, don't think he played well enough. Rashford did alright. He's looking better. Probably should have had a goal or two more, but he's looking very good since the restart. Bruno 6, got an assist, even though he probably had his worst game in the United shirt. Greenwood 6, wasn't very good yesterday. He did get clamped by Oriol Romeu, which may have had something to do with it, but didn't enjoy his best games. Martial with another goal and an assist as well. Take him to 21 for the season and edge him closer up that Premier League top scorers chart. He's done really, really well so far this campaign. Solskjaer, I gave him a 6, probably could have given him a 5. I thought when we went down to 10 men and we started lumping Matic and everyone into the centre-back positions, we went really deep and we invited them on. And I think, although we are down to 10 men and you're doing that to protect, I think it sends a wrong message across to the players. I think it sends a wrong message across to the opposition. And they really feel they're going to get something out of the game. And that's why they kept going. We had that head injury to Brandon Williams inside the 90th minute. And it pushed on. It meant there was so much added time. And you just know once you get to that position, they're going to score. You've got no chance to rescue the situation. But ultimately, it is still in all our own hands. We need to keep going. Need to keep pushing on. And fingers crossed, we do that. Because I don't want to be feeling like this at the end of the season. Because I do feel we've been making progress. It's just, that was a really bad sucker punch, wasn't it? If we could have got into third, imagine the confidence booster that would have done us going into the next few games and going into that game against Chelsea on the weekend. But nevertheless, it's still all to play for. And I suppose if we asked to be in this position at the start of lockdown, we probably would have taken it. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for the new members. Thank you for your support on the channel today. Make sure you are keeping it locked, as we've got so much more coming your way over the next 24 hours. We've got the preview for that game between Manchester United and Crystal Palace coming up too. That'll probably be tomorrow's 12 o'clock video. I might do a United Daily Live later. 12 o'clock video tomorrow will be the preview. and then we'll do another late United Daily Live. So that's probably the schedule. I will keep you updated in the community members section, community section, and of course in the Discord as well with all the members. So thank you very much for tuning in. Like, share, comment, subscribe, join if you can. But for now, I have been AdamMcKola. This has been the Aftermath Live, and don't worry, I'll be back, and United will be back too. See you in a bit.